10 millimeter bullets here, cartridges, ammo types, um, pretty much all for self-defense here, in one way or another. So yeah, all self-defense, period. Um, and we're gonna go over them, 10 different ones, and I'll break them down one by one. So here we go. This guy right here, oops, pick you back up. This guy right here, I didn't know much about, and I looked at the box, and when I looked at the numbers, when I looked at the specs, I said, "Geez, this is kind of hot." And when I added the numbers up, it was somewhere in the 700s of foot-pounds of energy. I believe it's 180 grain hollow point moving at 1350. So it's actually pretty hot. 1350 feet per second, 180 grain bullet is pretty good. Um, but I still don't know much about it. Like I haven't seen it go through gelatin, right? I don't know how well it performs. I just know it's heavy, it's hot, and it's a hollow point. So I don't have no extreme, like confidence in it. But it is a hollow point. If it does what it's supposed to do, even remotely, then it's a good round. But I don't have it in like my carry mag, like extra mag, sure. My 30 round mags I keep at home, yeah, but not in my everyday carry mags. Just because I don't know much about it. It might be amazing. I don't know. I just don't know much about it. So on to the next one. This is old school right here. This is the Hydroshock, 10 millimeter Hydroshock. Now, we are now past this, in my opinion. Okay. In my opinion, we have advanced a little beyond this, but I have much respect for this round because if it wasn't for the Hydroshock, I don't believe we would be where we are today as far as bullet technology. The Hydroshock is what took us to that next level. It was the round that made sure the bullet expanded for sure, right? As long as it didn't go through something crazy, something metal or something before it got to the body. If it was just a shot through somebody's t-shirt or jacket, just something normal like that, this was going to expand as designed because of the little middle part there, and that helped the bullet expand as it was supposed to. And then from there we advanced, so this took us to the next level. So I have much respect for Hydroshock, and I don't look at it as, oh, don't carry that, because it works. like it works. It's yeah, you can absolutely carry Hydroshock steel right now because it works. There are better cartridges though, right? Um, and that's why it's not in my main carry, but it works. And much respect to Hydroshock. All right, next. This is Sig's hollow point. You don't have anything in the center or anything like that. It's got a very wide mouth. I don't know if you can see that, but compared to, excuse me, here we go. Compared to other hollow points, it's got a pretty wide mouth. Is it much wider than maybe these are pretty similar. Yeah, those are actually pretty similar as far as how wide the mouth is. In fact, I think they're dead on. Maybe the Hydroshock doesn't get much attention as far as the mouth because of the little thing in the middle, but this thing's got a wide mouth, man. Let's put it next to that guy. Like most hollow points don't have a wide mouth like that. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just something that I noticed. But this isn't a super hot round. This is the Sig, I believe it's the Sig V Crown. It's just a well working hollow point. Period. That's it. It's not super hot. It's not super powerful. It's not up in the real 10 millimeter power, if you will. It's I think it's low. No, it's mid to high 500 foot-pounds of energy. Right. So the power is like right there with like a 45 ACP. It's not doing anything crazy, but it works. It expands as it should. It's pretty consistent. It's one of the more consistent rounds, self-defense rounds. So that's the Sig hollow point there. This is atomic. Now, I believe atomic is highly slept on. I believe people are sleeping on atomic. Um, it's hot, but not crazy hot, right? It's plenty powerful. In fact, when I shot this, of all the 10 millimeter rounds I've shot or been next to when someone was shooting, I don't know what it is about this, because when I looked at the specs, it's like it's nothing crazy, right? We're going to see rounds after this that are much more potent, but none of them had the concussion that this one gave. And so maybe I need to run it through, uh, run it through something and see what is it really doing, because it was louder, it felt more powerful. It was crazy. And I remember my cousin was shooting it. I said, wait, wait, whoa, stop. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And he showed me what it was. I'm like, why is that sound so freaking crazy? And we shot like two other 10 millimeter rounds that day, but this stuff just sounded like, man, it was just crazy. So anyhow, this is another one where I haven't seen a lot of like, I haven't seen it go through much gelatin or anything like that. I don't know if it's amazingly consistent or anything like that, right? I just know it's hot. It's 180 grains, hollow point. Okay, you can see that it's mixed with jacket and lead there. And I can tell you, we shot a lot of this stuff. We cycled a lot of this, and it cycles beautifully. Most hollow points I've shot, 50 rounds or so. This stuff right here must have shot 200 rounds of this stuff, and it's flawless. So good stuff, made by Atomic, 180 grain. I can't give it too much love because I don't know a lot about it, but it is an option. It's hot, 180 grain, hollow point. There you go. Winchester Silver Tip, 175 grain hollow point. I can tell you these things. They're kind of old school, actually. This is one of the rounds that was competing with the um, the Hydroshock, right? It was competing with Hydroshock, uh, and it kept going, and it's still a good round, absolutely. Silver tip, Winchester, 175 grain. It expands. It is consistent as long as it's not going through any barriers. This is not great when it comes to barriers. Okay, so if this is going through a wall or a door first and then into a person, it doesn't mean it won't work, but you got no guarantees. All right. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, sometimes it did something funky when it went through a barrier. But if you're just hitting somebody through their coat, shirt, whatever, it's very consistent. It's not crazy hot, so it's not going to over penetrate. It's going to expand. It's going to do its job, right? And that's what this does, and it does it well. 175 grain Winchester Silver Tip. All right, so we went through our first five here, and we're going on to our last five. So the first of the last five here, this is not self-defense ammo for a human, not for a two-legged creature. This is for four-legged creature and for hunting. This is what you want to carry if you're out there in the woods in Alaska, something like that, right? Bear carry type situation. This is what you want, okay? 220 grain, Underwood, right? That's right. This is just solid, solid. It's not, it doesn't have any of the weak. Oh, why am I losing my words here? Lead. Hello. It doesn't. It's not filled with lead or anything like that. This is a solid round here. It's hot. Underwood almost doesn't make anything but hot stuff. Like almost everything come from Underwood's hot. You better believe it. Okay. Um, 220 grain, and this penetrates deep. Penetration is the name of the game here. This is going to keep going. You understand? This is penetrating for real. It's going to punch through those strong skulls and very thick bones and things of that nature. It's going to punch through all that, and it's going to keep going. And that's what you want when you're dealing with large animals. If you're trying to if you're trying to stop a moose, shoulder shot or neck shot or something like that, bear charging, you dump 15 rounds of this at a grizzly. He's going night night. This stuff is powerful, hot Underwood round, and it penetrates very deep. 220 grain Underwood. 60 grain civil defense. You heard me right. Yeah, you heard me right. I'll say it again. 60 grain civil defense. Yes, we are talking about the same weight as a 5.56, 2.23, right? On average. Um, yeah, this stuff is moving. How fast? How fast is it moving? Well, coming out of a Glock 40 MOS barrel, this thing is moving over 2,400 feet per second consistently. I said 2,400 feet per second, 751 foot pounds of energy. No, that's not the Glock 20, excuse me. Out of the Glock 40, it almost breaks past. In fact, one of them did break past. It did 801 foot pounds of energy when they were testing it. But on average, it's a little short of 800. It's like 795 or something like that, if memory serves me correctly. Coming out the G40, okay. Coming out the G20, it was doing. This was a G20 with an aftermarket barrel. It was a KKM barrel. So there's that. But it was doing 751 foot pounds of energy. All right. Screaming. This thing's moving crazy fast. It defeats a lot of soft body armor because it's moving so fast. Right. 60 grain, 10 millimeter. This stuff it's a trip. I got a buddy who used it on lots of coyote. He said it does a remarkable job. And this is somebody I know would not lie to me or fabricate, right? This is a guy that I truly believe. He reminds me of myself. So anyhow, 60 grain, 2,400 feet per second out of a 6-inch barrel. This thing is crazy fast, screaming, hot round, penetrating soft body armor. Might want to think about this. Oh boy, if any of you are from the old school, you know what you're looking at. That, my friends, that is a black Talon. The original black Talon made by Winchester. This stuff, it's got a lot of myths behind it. It was not banned, it was not outlawed. However, the attention this was getting was so crazy that Winchester decided to stop making it themselves before they got sued. Okay, because there was all these rumors coming out. Oh, it goes through bulletproof vests. Um, some of the stuff they were saying was true. It is true that um, there were stories of nurses who were pulling these bullets out of people, and because the way it's designed, when it works right, when it expands, when it opens up, it has like claws, like they're really sharp. You can kind of see when you look in there, right? You see those sharp points. When this thing expands, those are out, and it really does kind of look like a talon, right? Like claws, and they are very sharp. And so there was a couple of stories where nurses were taking the bullets out, and they put them in a pan or whatever. But when they went to go pick it up to show or whatever, it cut through their gloves, right? It cut through them, and it cut their finger. And so, but that as far as I know, that only happened in one story that I know of that's legitimate. But then because of that one story, it started becoming this thing as if everyone that they pull out is going to cut their hands up, right? But it's like they don't grab them with their fingers; they grab them with tools. This lady just reached in there and grabbed it out of the pan afterwards to lift it up and show what it looked like once it expanded, and it cut her hand. Anyhow, no, it doesn't like consistently defeat body armor. If you got weak body armor, if you've got like 2A body armor, sure, it might. This is a 200 grain um, hollow point from Winchester. It's not crazy hot. It's not a weak round either. It's just this very basic round. I think it's about 600 foot pounds of energy. So it's nothing crazy. 200 grains, and it does its job. When this thing expands, it is nasty. It really is nasty. You got to look at it. Do a Google search of black talons when they're expanded. They are pretty nasty. And so that's going in, you expanding, opening, spinning, and just ripping you up real good. So this stuff became legendary. Black talons became legendary, and they still are. People love to get their hands on it just because of its status. Not that it's the greatest round, because there's rounds right now that beat this, that are more consistent, you know. But in its time, it was king. There was a guy who he loved 10 millimeter just like your boy, right? I'm a 10 millimeter guru. That's just what it is. And there was a guy who loved 10 millimeter the same way I did. And he was so tired of not being able to find real, true 10 millimeter ammo, like with the real potency, not the watered down 40 caliber stuff, but real hot 10 millimeter stuff. He couldn't find it. And he got frustrated. So he started making it himself. And eventually it turned into a company because everybody kept asking him for some because his stuff was amazing. He named it Double Tap. That is the name of the company, Double Tap. And he makes hot 10 millimeter. Okay. This was Underwood before Underwood. All right. This stuff was the meanest stuff that we had at the time. And he started making a certain round called the Equalizer. And that's what this is. Now, the first ones he made didn't perform great. However, even when this doesn't perform great, it outperforms a single shot. You are getting 2 shots with 1 cartridge here. That hollow point right there, and behind it is a lead ball, a 40 caliber lead ball. You are getting 2 holes, period, every shot, no matter what. But this bullet wasn't expanding as they wanted, so they changed it. They lightened it up a little bit, so now it's 195 grains rather than 230 grains. And now it's the hollow points expanding, and you're getting a lead ball afterwards. So you're getting hit twice, no matter what, with an expanding bullet. There is no other cartridge that provides with 1 shot this much damage, this much permanent cavity damage. Because bare minimum, you're creating a 40 caliber hole. So 2 of those, you are getting 0.80, even if it doesn't expand. If it does nothing at all, no expansion, you are still getting 0.80 of damage area. Whereas 1 10 millimeter bullet, if it expands to its best, you're going to get 0.76. Okay. So this stuff is mean, period. It's mean. Even when that hollow point wasn't working, it was 230 grain. It was mean. Now that they fixed it, there's not many, for 2-legged creatures, there's not many cartridges out there that provide this much damage with each single shot. Now, there are a lot of people out there that go, oh, it's a gimmick, it's this, that, and the other. Well, I'm telling you, it's not a gimmick. You're getting hit twice, period. Period. I need you to understand that even if you got hit with 2 Full Metal Jacket rounds, that is a bad day. The percentage or the likeliness that the bullet has hit a vital organs and ripped it up and destroyed it goes up dramatically when you have 2 that are giving you at least 0.40, bare minimum, 0.41 really, right? Bare minimum. But this is expanding plus a 40 caliber ball. If this thing opens up to 0.76 plus the 40, not even a 45 can't open up that much. Hell, a 460 Roland can't open up that much. So it's a mean round. You need to understand your math, and so you'll understand exactly what this thing is doing. Double Tap Equalizer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I carry. This is what is in my magazine. This is Underwood's Extreme Defender. Why? Why this? Of all the different self-defense rounds out there, why this? Some of you might even think it's gimmick. This is not gimmicky. This is bullet advancement. Now, whether you understand that yet or not, that's on you. But the advancement is here. They've done massive amounts of tests. This creates, of all the different hollow points out there, no matter what caliber, creates the biggest permanent wound cavity of any self-defense ammo. There's one hollow point out there. It's Hornady that comes close to creating a permanent wound cavity as wide as this. However, it is not what the Hornady cannot do is go through. It's not 100% barrier blind. This thing is barrier blind for real. And a lot of companies will claim that, but they can't actually produce that. This is actually barrier blind. It goes through wood, it goes through some soft metal, it goes through, you name it. It goes through a whole chicken. It doesn't matter. This thing, once it goes into human flesh, it performs as it should. It creates a huge permanent wound cavity, and it has the perfect depth penetration every single time, no matter if it goes through a barrier or not. Okay, it performs as it should. Lots and lots of tests have been done with this stuff. It's hot as well. This stuff is hot. Okay, it is screaming like that. This stuff is moving at 1,800 feet per second. Okay, we're talking 780 foot-pounds of energy. This stuff is mean. It's hot. Underwood, Extreme Defender. This is the most consistent self-defense ammo that I've seen tested and tested myself. It does what it's supposed to do every single time. It's actually mind-blowing. And when you compare the other hollow points, when they go through barriers, they have problems. They start struggling. Windows, wood, you name it. They start struggling. This does not have a problem whatsoever. It does what it is supposed to do, no matter what. And not only does it do what it's supposed to do, not only is it barrier blind, but no other hollow point creates a larger permanent wound cavity than the Underwood Extreme Defender. Not the Underwood Extreme Penetrator. That's made to keep going. This is made to penetrate to a certain depth and stop. Dump all its energy as it's supposed to. No crazy overpenetration. This is as good as it gets right now when it comes to self-defense ammo. So that's 10 millimeter self-defense rounds. And I have others, right? I have others. I've got some Hornady 10 millimeter self-defense rounds. I've got others, but these are, I guess these ones are a little unique to a certain extent. And it's just the ones that I cling to more, you know. So these are the 10 I want to show you. So you know they're out there. You know they're available to you. And yeah, and that's that. The 10 millimeter guru is here and out. Whammy out.